How's it going? Is it live? Yeah, we're live. I made some progress on my job hunting. So let me talk about it. Firstly, I sent a lot of connection requests in LinkedIn. So therefore, maybe, just maybe, the people will be friend with me. So I want to make my LinkedIn account look better. So I want to make a lot of friends in LinkedIn. Followers, I mean, yeah, connections, increase connections and expand my networks. That makes my account look better. And secondly, I searched for some companies in Australia firstly in Australia, but I found out that speaking of internship, it is not hard to find a job, I think. It was I thought finding job in Canada was too difficult, but actually it is not hard to find a job if it's an internship, I think. I guess. Yeah. I searched for some internship what was that? Requirements. Wait. I forgot. Um, so description, yeah. So the job's description requires a lot of higher skills when it is full-time jobs. So non-internship job requires a lot of higher skills that I don't have enough. But as for internship jobs requires not so much higher skills. But those requires those kind of knowledge or properties, knowledge or like my state that I have, and some of them are startups which requires no not specific ones. So it's kind of yeah, I think it attracts a lot of people, so it is it can be hard to join that company as an internship. But I was I got I'm getting really attracted by this company, so I'm eager to work in that company. I'm so inclined to apply for this job. To be inclined. Uh, wait, inclined. He was inclined to accept the offer. Yeah, feel willing or favorably disposed toward something. Yeah, I'm inclined to. Yeah, feel willing, inclined. I'm inclined to offer the apply for the job. So it makes me energetic now, enthusiastic because I was kind of depressed because I felt like I couldn't find a job until the time of taking a leave of absence. The time of leave of absence. Time for leave of absence will like expire expire die cost be valid after a fixed period of time. Cease to be valid. Yeah, expires. So the time for leave of absence will expire um before I found a job. So I was so afraid and depressed to on this situation. So it makes it made me a lot of an energy. It made me a lot of happiness or hope. Yeah, it made me a lot of hope. So this is great progress I made today. So what else am I gonna talking about? I'm gonna be talking am I gonna be talking about? Am I gonna talking about? Am I gonna talking about? I am gonna I am gonna be talking about. Am I gonna be talking about? Oh, what else am I gonna be talking about? So, so reading the books, reading book, reading books. So speaking of reading books, I read a book less than more than 10 minutes and less than an hour per day. It makes me it makes me wait. It gives me a lot of information, knowledge. I mean, it enlightened me with lots of knowledge, lots of vocabulary, with lots of thought. I think reading book makes me improves my um deep deep thought. Wait, render render my knowledge important. Change. So refine. So reading a book refines my misinterpretation misinterpretation on this world. So I've been reading a book called Tactfulness, which tells me the outlook or the perspective that we have, that people have, even intelligent people have, is often wrong, goes often wrong. Often the perspective often goes wrong. So we cannot catch the reality properly and I mean exactly. So the accurate world, the accurate perspective cannot be possessed by just living a natural world, living in a like a natural course we worked along through our lives. So therefore, we need to refine our perspective and transform it into a accurate one. But how can we make the way of thinking accurately? This is not by it is not done by just reading accurate data, reading accurate data. But so for example, if we have an accurate data, we we cannot say that our perspective gets accuracy. So the way so how we get the accuracy of the perspective on wait how we get the way we get the accuracy of an outlook on life or on the earth is not getting the accurate data, but getting the accurate or I think it is changing the direction from which we look at the data, right? So it is not the accuracy of the data, but the direction or perspective that we have um, to look at the data, right? So this is your fault. This is not the data's fault. So we often see what is happening, what's been happening in the world, like in a foreign country, in foreign countries, what is happening. We don't know, but we learn to know. Like we studied what is happening in the foreign countries, but the book says um the outlook on is that correct? Is that accurate to say outlook? I don't know. Outlook is a person's point of view or general attitude to life. Also, it's not correct. Oh, but a view. I think it's not proper. Proper. Yeah, it's not proper. So, perspective. I think perspective is suitable this for this case. So I would say perspective. So we need to change the perspective. Wait, what was I talking about? So we study foreign countries. We study about foreign countries and for example, the education, vaccination, um, infection, no, like diseases, the population and poverty and wealth, whatever, about in a foreign country. We think, uh, we often think like many people tend to think the world is split into different two parts, different two parts. Wait, two different things or different two things, which is natural. The correct, yeah, natural phrase is two different things. Okay, two different things. Two different things. Quantity, description, and noun. Okay, quantity, description, and noun. Two different things. What was I talking about? So, the world, we think that many people think that two, the earth is split, can be split into two different categories: developed countries, and developing countries. And looking at the graph, which indicates the number of people, the population of the country, and the x act wait. Yeah, x axis in geometry, a Cartesian coordinate system is a Cartesian coordinate system. What is this in Japanese? I don't know. Dekarto. How can I pronounce it? Carte Cartesian. Who is it? Descartes and his ideas. Descartes, 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 Cartesian, Cartesian, Descartes, Cartesian cooperates what? Coordinate system. Cartesian, Descartes, Cartesian coordinate system is a method of locating points in a plane or space using two or more perpendicular axes. Perpendicular means to go 90-degree. Wait, perpendicular. How can I explain it? Perpendicular. So, yeah, how can I sound this? I don't know. Pronunciation 90 what? 90 an angle of 90. Can you read it? Read this. Please read it. What? No, it's a Japanese speaker. How can I change the speaker? Oh, this one. I think this one should work. Oh, I installed a lot. Go.
90 degrees to a given
90
line.
degrees. Thank you. 90 degrees. I understood. 90 degrees. So, per where is it? Oh, perpendicular at an angle of 90 degrees to a given line. At an angle of 90 degrees to a given line, plane, or surface, perpendicular. So, so get back. Let's get back to the point. What was the topic? I forgot everything. So, the graph that indicates the world in the Cartesian coordinate system. I mean, x-axis shows the population of the country, and y-axis indicates what was that? I think the more immortal, the opposite of mortality. For example, until by by getting 5 years old, if a child dies, we count the number the child we count the number children who died by 5 years old in like proportionate. Proportion is how can I explain it? So um I want to ask for help. Ask ChatGPT for help, but the before that I'm gonna try again. So we have 1,000 children, and we're gonna count how many children dies before 5 years old, before getting 5 years old, and the proportion. We see that proportion and make it we see that proportion and uh wait subtract deduce deduct deduct subtract. So we deduct the number from 100, right? So we see that proportion is the percentage. Proportion of part share number. Yeah. So we see that percentage. How many percentage? How much percentage? So, so we see that percentage of the number of out of 100, out of 1,000 percentage, and we deduct the number. We deduct the percentage from 100, right? Deducted tax has been deducted from the payments. Okay, so we deduct, we subtracted by something, right? 43 from 60. Okay, so we subtract that percentage from 100. Then we've got the livability, living ability. Yeah. So we've got the percentage of that shows the ability to live more than 5 years. Live more than 5 years. So the ability for children to live more than 5 years since alive, since get born, since since being born, since birth, since birth, since their birth, since their birth, since their birth. So what was I talking about? So the graph, the x-axis shows the population of a country, and the y-axis shows the ability to live more than 5 years. And the professor or the speaker, who was it? The author made a graph that shows developed that has two separated boxes, which names one of which is named developed, one of which is named development, and both those two boxes are completely separate and contain um it seems like it almost completely shows the division. Yeah, almost completely shows the division of the world into two parts. But actually, the data he used was, I think, around 1960 to 1970, or around that time. So it is not new, outdated. No, it's so ancient, obsolete. It is so obsolete data, outdated. It was such an obsolete data, so we can't use that data to express uh to explain the world, explain how the world is how the world is, how the world is right now, how the world, how the world, the way the world is, how the world is, how how the world is. Huh? We can explain how understandable, something complete. What the world is like. Okay. So it is grammatically correct, but not natural. How the world works, how the world is the way it is. Oh, how the world is the way it is. How the world is the way it is. How the world is the way it is. Is the way it is. How the world 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 is the way it is. So we can't explain how the world is the way it is. 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 We can't explain what the world is like. What the world is like. I like it. What the world is like. How the world is the way it is. So we cannot explain. Okay, so looking at the graph, we cannot explain what the world is like today. Of course, this is not the world. How the world is. How the world is. How the world is the way it is today. How the world is today. It is not the way the world is today. It is not the way how the world is. It is not the way how the world is today. Wait, is the way. It is not how the world is. It is not the way. The way how. It is not the way how. The way how the. world is today. It is not the way the world is today. Okay, it is not the way. We don't use how after the way. Okay, the way something is, the way how something is. Okay, the way something is. It is not the way the world is today. It is not the way the world is today. It is not the way the world is today. Got it. So it is not the way the world is today. So we need to explain the world with data that is new and not obsolete, not outdated. So we need to uh new data. Novel. You don't say novel here, I think. So what should I use? New synonym. Current data, modern data, or present data. Brand new, up to date. Yeah, up to date. That is up to date. Latest data, current data, up to date. So we need to explain the world. If we need to explain the world, we need to if we are to explain the world, if we are to explain the world, we need to use data. We need to use such data. Data should be non-countable. Data, I don't know. Both can be both. Okay. So we need to use the data that is up to date. That is up to date. State of the art. Honestly, state of the art. New. The most recent stage in the development of a product. State of the art. State of the art, incorporating the newest technology, ideas, and features. State of the art. So and the author tried to explain the world again with the new data, which is I think 2017. 2017. 2017. 2017. 2017. And it shows that the new graph shows that the world is actually not separated, just like developed separated like developed and developing, but the developed boxes, the developed box almost um collect all the world, and the developing box almost lose every word. Almost is about to lose every world in it. Release, yeah. The box is about to release all every country in that box, which was in that box, which were in that box. Every country which was in that box, which was in it, that was in it, that was inside it, that was inside it, inside of it, inside of it, that was inside of it, within, inside of something informal. So our view on the world often can be our view on the world can often be wrong and incorrect. So we need to refine the way of looking at the world by yeah reducing the bias on the world, bias or likelihood to see the world, bias. What is jeopardy? doing bad thing. Jeopardy, danger of loss, harm or failure, danger of loss, harm or failure. Jeopardy, danger, jeopardy, jeopardy. Danger of loss, harm or failure. Prejudice. Prejudice is a results of made result. Preconceived opinion that is not based on reason and actual experience. Preconceived. Formed before having the evidence for its truth or usefulness. Preconceived opinion that is not based on reason or actual experience. Prejudice. 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 Harm or injury that results or may result from some action or judgment. Prejudice. Okay. So it is all about the book that I read recently. So